Laziena, and with me is my co-host Nashid, all the way from Bangladesh at 10 p.m. I'd like to make sure that I poke fun at Nashid every once in a while because he sure as heck get me back with his picture postings of me with different weird faces. Before I hand it off to Nashid, I want to introduce our audience to our guests today, Autumn and Barbie. These are two awesome ladies that I met about 2 months ago, and I love what they're doing for their community and how they're transforming. They're becoming the hero of their own transformation and the work that they're doing. Nashid, will you please make your introduction and then you can introduce our guest?
Oh, right. Thanks a lot, listener. And yeah, it's been like before we start, like we've been talking about the podcast time, and it's been almost a year. We've been doing this podcast, and every guest is like a changing our life stories. And I'm sure these two beautiful ladies, right, will be hearing all the exciting stories, and definitely the audience will be eager to listen. So I'll cut my words short and hand over to you guys, and you can start with your inspiring stories, and let's kickstart the podcast.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you met.
Okay.
Right.
So, my name is Autumn Childs. Previously in my former life, I was an educator for 25 years. I feel like I use a lot of those skills and strategies and all of that I learned as an educator. I use in the work that I do now. We operate the Friendly Group together with. And I do that with Barbie, and I'll let Barbie tell more about herself.
Actually, hi, my name is Barbie Clark. I originally from Venezuela, so I have a Spanish background, Latin background.
Hi, neighbor.
Used to be in banking and for a long time. And then until I decide this is not for me anymore. And then we open up a business and now we have a business together.
And we met because we both had separate pet care businesses in Tampa, Florida. And Barbie professionally slid into my DMs and said, hey, I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing. We should become friends. And we became friends. We started to cover for each other because we were two solo business owners, and just being able to have time away from the job was pretty hard. So we would cover for each other, encourage each other. And then Barbie came to me with this idea of which became the Friendly Group.
The Friendly Group.
And so, to tell you a little bit more about the Friendly Group is a pet care business that we started that specializes. Currently, we specialize in supporting seniors. Pet owners. So that can be older people who are very independent, who still enjoy traveling, going to see their families, and maybe need some vacation pet care, or it could be seniors that have mobility issues that might need some dog walks, or caring for their cats, like cat litter tray cleaning and things like that. And it can even be
like Alzheimer's, when they had dementia.
Yeah. Here in Tampa, we're so lucky. We have a lot of pet-friendly facilities, senior living facilities, including memory care facilities, which is incredible. And so we actually got started because Barbie met.
We have a client that they have to go there, but we can go there after if you want to, or we can tell the story right now.
Go for it. Yeah.
The reason actually that was the main reason why we decided to go and help seniors is because I had this client call me and then say, hey, I need help with my mom. My mom just got diagnosed with dementia. And then the only way, and then she have a dog, and the only way she can go inside those facilities is they have somebody to help her every day. So that's what she called us.
Yeah. So So Barbie helped with that client's dog for 6 months, went every day to the facility, walked the dog, made sure the dog was fed, had water, because those things were being left out.
Yeah.
And Barbie got to know the client, the pet, the family, the facility. And everybody. It's just an incredible relationship that we had.
That is really awesome. You are doing heroes work. That is definitely heroes work, because I think about a pet, and the attachment that we have to our pets is similar to the attachment that we have to our loved ones, and so, and sometimes even more. And to think like, oh, maybe it's, even if it's like a senior care and they do have that Alzheimer's and that was their beloved pet, you can't just get rid of it. And then There's people who are functional and they end up getting an accident or something, or they need to go to the hospital back and forth. To know that there's someone that can provide that safety, and no, I feel like it helps so much, and it can give you so much peace knowing that there's someone
It
there.
does. It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, knowing that we're the difference between that person being able to hold on to their pet and have that pet in their life or having to rehome that pet. Just
Mhm.
knowing that we can, our presence, our support, the service that we give can keep families together, people together.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. And what have you guys noticed that people are really going through when they have to leave their dog in your care during, like, those vulnerable times?
What we had noticed is I have noticed mostly is when they tell you something is sometimes it's not what it is. You have to read between the lines kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more about what it is. Like if I'm sick and then what's gonna happen with my dog? That's the first thing we get.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with my pet? What if
Hmm.
I have to going to have surgery? What's going to happen with my pet?
What?
And then we have a case, something like that. I do have a client, and now she's my friend. She had cancer. I didn't know she was going through cancer. And then when I talked to her, I noticed her voice. And then I said, well, is everything okay? And are you okay? And then she said, no, I just got diagnosed with cancer. And then my thing is, now I'm going to go through this treatment. What's going to happen with my dog? So she had two dogs. So I took care of the dog while she was going to treatment. And it was a point that she said, I'm at the hospital. Can you please do something with my dog? And I said, I'm going right away. So it took me like 10 minutes to go there so she can be going to the hospital. She was in an ambulance. So we have to run. So we had to run. And I said, don't worry about it. We about you. I take your pets,
Yeah.
basically. So she was fine, and then she was ready to take care of herself without knowing what's going to happen with my dogs.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that people go through, what's going through their mind, when they have to leave their dog with us, there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of worry and
Mhm.
anxiety and responsibility, but all of that's rooted in love. And, leaving the dog is not a simple
It's not.
decision. I mean, that was not an easy decision to prioritize herself, but she needed to. And so we find that our clients are looking for someone to rely on. I think most pet parents are looking for someone that they can rely on, someone who can make them feel like nothing's going to fall through the cracks.
My pets are
And
fine.
yeah, and that's the space that we step into.
That's so beautiful. I mean, Nashi, do you want to? I feel like you have something to say. I'll talk after. Go.
Absolutely right. So I was listening the very good ideas, and like I have two daughters, so we had like birds, we have tortoise, we even had the rabbits. But when my elder one caught the eczemas, right? So we have to put the rabbit to the shop, like to give it to someone people. That's a long gone stories, right? And now I'm not really a pet lovers. I was not a really pet lovers until or unless one day my daughters and my wife surprised me with a cat, right? And then I was realized like what to do. They have eczemas and everything and others. But the initial expressions when I opened the door, the cat was like looking at me, and I was thinking, what should I do? What should I do? And the way she looked at my eyes, and I said like, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And you know what? I'm in love with this
Of course.
my new kid, and now I understand how it's important. Like it's a living animals, right? Living animals. It's like my own child. And I said like I have three daughters, like one, two, and three. And when I relate to your stories, is like my mom also having a dementia, and so we live in the fifth floor. My mom is on the third floor. So eventually, when we go to any short vacations and everything, we kept the cat to my mom's house, and she has a caregiver. But I understand if I mix with the complete areas like dementias, the patients, as well as the our own precious cat whose name is Zephy, right? So when we put the Zephy to my mom's place, and we realize how it's hard, right? And then we have cameras all around the house, and in the during the vacation, my wife said, "Hey, did you check the Zephy? Where is she?" And everything. I said, like, "All right, let me check it and everything." And when they went for shoppings and everything, and I look after the cats and the cat that, and I realized right now I realized like how precious, and you just like uh, taking all the worries from the people who is like having an operation. He or she was thinking about pets and others, right? So hats off to you guys, right? It's a really a good initiative and everything. So my not it's not going to be a question. It's like I want to understand, right? Like it takes a lot of trust and love from the people who like people become your friends and they love and trust you guys deeply, and it takes some time. So what takes you guys to build that trust and love from the people, and they can call you and before leaving that, and they can keep it, and they think like, all right, it's going to be the same where I put my cats and dog in my own house, right? And they went for vacations, maybe the life changing operations they're having. So what makes that love and trust you guys are having, and how difficult it was in the beginning? Share that stories, right? So
Yeah.
it's a different living elements, right? And
Yeah.
the love and
Yeah.
passions, right?
Exactly. I think we find that it starts with listening, not just hearing someone, but really trying to understand what matters to them. Like
Active listen.
that's it. That's it. Exactly.
Listening.
I'm still working on this, okay? Because, I can get preoccupied with things going on in my life, things going on with the pet, procedures, but active listening is so important because people will tell you what matters to them, but we may have to really pay attention to find that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, please.
No, I was gonna say like they tell you what kind of need, but that's probably not what they need. Like
Mhm.
when I was talking to one of our clients, the same one, the dementia one,
Yeah.
I was talking to the daughter. What really worried her it was my mom is gonna be okay with the dog. Is she's gonna find out that the dog is not with her? How am I gonna deal with this? What happened when they decline? I mean, dementia that's how it is. So when
Mhm.
you decline, and what's gonna happen with that dog? Or what's going to happen with my mom? So that's why we have to listen. So we listen to her. What is really worry her
Yeah.
is my mom, and then the well-being of the dog. So what's going to happen to that?
Exactly. And, through the listening, we learn about pets' personality, their routines, all the things that they enjoy. And then when you notice those things and then you reflect it back to the owner, they know that you're paying attention.
Hmm.
And, it's easy to say, everyone says they care. We know lots of pet sitters, we know lots of people who love pets, and people say that it's easy. But trust isn't saying it, the trust comes from showing it, noticing those small details,
Details.
noticing the quirks of each pet, that's where the trust comes from.
Right. But when we had those meet and greets with those clients, we really listen what they're saying, and then we really see and ask a lot of questions about the dog and then their routines, and then we decide right there and then this is probably not a good fit.
Or we're a good fit.
Oh,
Hopefully, most of the time, we're a good
so
fit.
we are not gonna trying to get the money. We're just trying to be like to tell you what's the best for you and the dog. That's what we're looking for. The best for you and your dog and your routine and whatever is happening in your life.
I think when people see that honesty matched with the listening, the active listening we're doing, that they know that we're gonna follow through, we're gonna be consistent, and that's where the trust builds. That's something we know our clients can feel.
Like we had remember that I had the client that she was looking the brindles. She was looking for somebody to walk the dogs. And then when I got there and I said, well, this is not gonna be enough. This type of dogs, they need something different. So I think for you and the dogs, it's better to put them on the daycare because only one walk a day is not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough. They need more exercise. They need to be like
This is a very
socialized.
active dog.
They are very active dogs, and then you need to socialize her. So I was very sincere with her and very honest, and then I'm not gonna take your money, so this is probably what you need. If you really need me to walk the dogs, I can do it, but you need to do this first.
Yeah, yeah. So that
That's beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing it, because even though you guys are saying active listening, what I'm hearing is more compassionate listening. And, you know,
yeah.
yeah, because you are, for one, to be able to take care of dogs. Dogs are unconditional lovers, right? But they also have their own personality. So the fact that you're thinking about the dog's needs plus the human needs. Compassion to me is saying, I'll go into a little bit of a spiel. Sympathy is saying, I can understand how that feels for you. And empathy is saying, I can put myself in your shoe and truly understand what you're experiencing. But
Mhm.
compassion says, I can do all of that and I want to do something. I want to be able to help. I want to be an active participant in the
Yes.
solution of this. And so that is what I'm hearing from you guys as you're speaking, not just, the and again, active listening is beautiful in the way you describe it, but I am hearing your heart and I can see how that is showing up for your clients.
Thank you. I think both of us kind of heard you say that and we're like, you know what, that is it, isn't it? It's the compassion, that letting them know we understand where you're at, whether it's the idea that you have to go in a hospital because you need to go to rehab because you fell and you broke your hip. We understand that. We want to help you through that, through just other owners who just, want to have a nice vacation and want their
Mm-hmm.
pet to be safe and happy. We really
Want to
try to
enjoy the
reflect those.
vacation.
Yeah, and we really want to reflect those things back to owners. So,
Yes,
and
sometimes it happened.
it
Remember that
does.
happened that when they came from vacation or from rehab, the dog doesn't know what to do. I go with my owner or I stay here, so I'm confused.
They get
So
so used to us.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been really lucky. We've both had extended stays with pets. I had a cat and a dog stay with me for 3 months, and Barbie had a
I have
dog.
91 days.
So just over 3 months. We were able to build such just loving relationships. And every owner kept saying, I'm just so happy that my pets had you. I knew my pets were safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that just allowed them the time to heal, them to be able to focus on themselves, which they needed to do that. And just that, have that little respite from caring for their pets so they could focus on their own health and then can come back stronger. So we just are so glad that we
Right
can
now
be a
we have,
part of
remember
that.
Zoe,
Hmm?
her mom have to go to the hospital. The daughter call us and then they say, hey, my mom, it's an emergency room. And then we said, again, I get the dog.
We're
So
there. Yeah.
we were there, we got the dog was with us for 4 days.
Yeah.
And then when the owner text me and I say, how's my baby? And I said, your baby's fine. Let me send you pictures and videos to the daughter. Then so just worry about yourself. And
Yeah.
then when you get better, I bring you Zoe. And then she called me and I say, hey, I'm already home. So I say, okay, I'm gonna bring Zoe. And if you feel that you can be with Zoe right now, if not, I can bring it back and then I bring it back to you again every day. And then she said, no, I'm fine. So when I got there, they were so excited. Zoe knew that she was kind of sick, but she was so gentle, so she's so happy. And then now she's
Mhm.
recuperating well because she had the dog with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
But
so
anyway, we
beautiful.
appreciate you hearing that's our ethos in the things that we say, because that's what we would love for clients to know about us and hearing us.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that you hear it. Thank you.
Beautiful. It's like you're speaking from your heart, you're speaking from your truth. That it's so aligned. And you're also speaking in that way of like you're truly supporting someone in their it's not necessarily a difficult time, but if one of the reasons when I had dogs, and right now I can't have dogs because of where I live, but when I had dogs before, it was very difficult to go on vacation because one of them, she used to get separation anxiety so bad, and so going to a facility was not going to really help her. I needed to have somebody in the house, so it impacted, like, me being able to go anywhere or having fun. And now my children have a cat, and it's like I need to, every time we got to go somewhere, it's like, okay, let's think about how the cat's going to be taken care of because we can't take her with us. And one of the things that I love when I was working in Orlando, and there's people who would come to Disney, they always have these pet care facilities, pet hotels type of thing, that you can bring your pet along.
Mm-hmm.
When I lived in Ohio, I worked at a PetSmart pet hotel. And so it was such a beautiful facility. In the daytime, they would have doggy daycare, so people could come and bring their dogs just to play from 9 to 5. And sometimes we would rotate out. Sometimes we would be in the playroom with them, engaging. It's like a bunch of dogs, right? And then every twice a day, we would go around and we would clean their pens, make sure we wash it down, give them fresh linens. We even had a cat room, so we'd have cat playtime.
Mhm.
We would also do grooming. So some people would pay for the grooming services. If we know they're going to be there for like 5 days, on the fourth day, they get a bath before their parents come back and pick them up. And it
Oh,
was such a beautiful exchange. So I'm like, you guys are literally doing this in a more personable, in like
Yeah, in a more intimate space, when we have the pet stay with us, for us, what we offer is a family style in home boarding. So they are a part of our family. So you might be hearing a dog right beside
Right
us.
now.
She's with me right now in my home. She's stayed many times in my home, and her family knows that she's treated like family when she comes to my home, and the amount of trust that they have is incredible, in us, and we just love having her here. So
Like right now, I had two huskies.
I
I do
used
own a husky, and I had two huskies, and the first thing they jumped in the pool.
so yeah, I have a pool too, so they jump in the pool with
They
me
jumped
too.
in the
So we really do let them try to be a part of the like part of
Mhm.
the family, and I get in the pool with them and go for a
Exactly.
swim.
I love huskies. So I had three huskies at one point. So I had lots of
There's a reason why you guys connected.
Yeah.
You guys could tell. Maybe you could just see the fur on her.
it was so funny. You know, I literally walked into, like, I mean, this is network, right? And her and I, we were just standing there talking. There's so many other people. It's just her and
Yeah,
I.
she probably did like this. She said, "Oh, that's her."
and and now you know them, right? Whenever you go for a vacations, now you know Autumn and Barbie, right? So you don't have to worry, right? Yeah, I do the marketing for you guys, right? No worries.
And my friend, she lives here in St. Pete, and she owns a rescue. She's got Skyway Dachshund Rescue. So yeah. So it's like she's always having these events. They have the Derby, the Florida
Oh, I love
Wiener Derby, and, like, these are all dog spaces that I don't go as often as I used to, but, like, I mean, it's as well, the summer's coming up now, so I can do more of that. But it's nice because she's always at Shopapalooza or some
it.
event, like at the St. Pete Dog Bar. They usually have competition, these dog races. She'll get a call from, like, somewhere in, like, South Florida to go pick up a dog, and she'll drive and go pick them up and bring them home. And the way she does her foster care is, well, she likes to match the owner with the dog. So it's not a traditional, you get a dog. She wants to make sure that this dog has been through some things, and she's going to match them to the owner's personality, so they have a way to actually thrive and have a good life. So I'm sharing all that because I love the dog space, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. It's not very often that we come across business owners who are in the space of taking care of people's loved ones in this way. Like, it's just something very unique. Nashi, do you have anything that you want to add before we get into the next question?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The one you're saying, like the dog is confused, right? So which home they're gonna stay? That really prove like how you put this affectionate, like how you have this relationship, like, and with these, and you own it, right? So that's probably the one, it's separating that your business to the others, like your unique propositions, like should be the one you are taking care of at your place is the same, right? And when it happens, like the pets is confused, right? Should I go and should I stay? Because I have more friends here, right? And that may be the separations of the people of the having the similar business. And
Mhm.
it's not about, like, I love that words, like you probably active listening and active listen that the stories, and you find out that this is not for us, like you need to go for a more, like, to the other areas, or maybe the other companies, or maybe the other people can look after us. Like, it's not always for the money, it's always for the affectionate,
Yes.
right? It's always for the, like,
Mhm.
the pets and others, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's really made me feel like, yeah, absolutely, you guys are doing a fantastic job. And my like, I was thinking, like, how old your business is? Years,
Well, we
months?
started
Four
this
years
the
ago.
friendly group
A year
is
ago.
about a year old. We're
The
about
friendly
Okay.
yeah,
group.
I think next month is a year, official year.
Yeah.
And we've had, like we said, we had our separate pet care businesses for mine is 3 years, yours is about
The
four
four.
years. But we like yes, so we're sort of new at this, and sort of not, we've had pets, raised our own dogs and things like that. So
And chickens.
officially, yes, yes, you did have chickens.
Chickens.
So officially, only a few years, but we've been at this. We're lifelong pet carers.
Awesome, awesome. Keep doing a good job.
It's beautiful because like we are witnessing you guys and how you share, and it's so obvious that your heart is so much in this, and you do understand that it's what I get is that you have this sense of that when you're taking care of a dog or a pet, you're not only taking care of their dog and pet, you are taking care of their emotional world.
Mhm. I mean,
About there being, yeah, go ahead.
I'm thinking about, Yoli and Dixie, that
There's
how we
so
started.
many. There's so many that we just thought about the how we started.
Yeah.
About this patient that with dementia, but we also have cancer patients. But
Hmm.
when it's about being there for the family is what is important. In the case with the dementia patient, with the dog, is about the family because
Yeah.
it come to a point that you have to be so close to the family as well, and then you also read between the lines what is really there, so you have to be careful how you talk to them because you see a lot of stuff
Yeah.
because you are with the client and with the dog every day.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about how you worked with, the pet owner with dementia, her daughter, yes, and the dog, you were not just a part of that pet owner with dementia. You weren't not just,
We're
you were
part of the
part of her
family.
emotional world.
Actually, yeah, I stood in like they celebrate like the owners, like the daughters, mom's birthday. They invite me to there. I mean, I'm already part of the family and say you have to be here.
Yeah.
So it's like she remembered. Not right now, she doesn't have the dog, but she still remember who I am.
Yeah, yeah, the former pet owner. Yeah.
The former owner.
But you were a part of the daughter's emotional world because
Yes.
we kind of talked about that. Like you were like there in a way that it gave Christine
I
like
was kind of in between the owner and like the mom and the daughter. I was kind of in between.
you're a
So
conduit.
yeah,
You link them, and you sort of I just felt like when I listened to everything that Barbie was doing with the family, she was like that link, and she gave the daughter peace of mind. Really was nourishing her emotional world, as well as the elderly pet owner's emotional world by taking care of the pet. Through the pet care, we were taking care of these two people's emotional worlds,
yeah.
this family's emotional world, because this is their matriarch that has dementia.
Yeah, eventually the daughter took the dog because it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't right at the time. It wasn't right. So she took the daughter, and then I felt that that was part of her mom world, and so she took it. Like this is my mom's, so I
Yeah.
have to keep the dog. It's like a yes.
Yeah, it became a situation
Yeah.
where, even with our support that with the pet care we were giving, it was no longer sort of humane for the pet to
For the
stay
pet.
with the owner, and the family agreed, the facility agreed. In conjunction, we worked together
Took
to
about like 2 months,
yeah,
like kind of like that. Yeah.
yeah. So of just like slowly withdrawing
The
the
dog.
dog from the pet owner's life, and so that we were really, the point was to really try to minimize the stress
Yeah.
that
For
that we know that
the
people with dementia,
family.
yeah, exactly, and the pet owner knowing how much distress people with dementia can have,
Yes.
with changes. So we really were trying to minimize that, which then we knew was also minimizing the stress of the family
And then
too.
that's why we work with the facility, with the help of the facility, the people work there, and then the family, and then also everything all together. We make a plan. This is
Yeah.
what we need to do. If it's working, fine. If it doesn't work, we switch it up. So yeah, that's what we did, and everything came out right. And then now we're friends as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you're guiding that sort of transition, it's like really emotional. And, at that point, we know that it's bigger than pet care.
Yeah, it is.
Like
It is.
we are really a part of these people's families and emotional lives. And for me, I'm thinking of a time where, sorry, my these clients invited me to come over because they said, we know it's time to say goodbye to this pet, and they invited me to come say goodbye before their dog path across the Rainbow Bridge, and that stays with me because I just know that I'm not just helping their pet. I was invited into something very personal. I was invited into their grief. I was invited into the relationship with the dog. I was at that moment allowed to be a part of the family you know, and that inclusion has made me realize like how much trust they placed in me. I knew they did. Of course I did. But like that being allowed that access really let me know like how much of a part of their emotional lives, their emotional worlds that I had become.
And you don't know how many times that happened. You remember that happened to me with Zeus too. They waited for me before that happened, and they said it's ready. So okay, I'm on my way
Yeah,
there.
he was
They
about to
waited for
cross the
me.
Rainbow Bridge.
And then yesterday, I was just invited to a memorial one of my
Mhm.
clients is gonna do for the pet. So it was only family and friends, and then they let me know that we want you to be here. It's
And they
happened a
held
lot.
up the time.
Yeah, they
You
held
said
up the time.
I think they're going to do it like at 6, and you're like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I have a
I was.
pets, I can't get there till
Yeah,
7. You're
yeah.
telling me, and they're like, we'll wait for you. Just these
Those stuff.
moments,
Yeah.
you make us very conscious of the role that we play, and we're not just caring for pets. We are stepping into people's lives during like very emotional, sensitive times, and it's not something that we take lightly. You
Mhm.
know, and it's an honor
But it's
to be
hard. It's
trusted.
hard for us too because I call her crying and I say I can't deal with this anymore. And then we having a coach and then
Hmm.
talking about this on like right now we're talking.
With our business coach, yeah.
I end up crying like in the call.
You
Like
did. You did.
I can't. It's happened. I can't. You get
Yeah.
so attached to the dog and then to the pet,
Mm.
and then feeling like she said being included in those moments is
Mhm.
very. It is good. I mean, we liked it because we like to be included in those things, and then we know that they trust us. But it's hard for us too
Yeah.
because we grieving.
Yeah. So we are, maybe clients don't realize how much, they're part of our emotional world as
Yeah.
well, but, yeah, I think that we still, despite the grief and the emotions that we feel, we wouldn't have it any other way.
Right.
We are
Yeah, we're
just,
not change that. Yeah.
we're just very honored to be a part of it and trusted like that.
That's so beautiful. As I'm sitting here and I'm hearing you talk, Autumn, the way that you witness Barbie and the way Barbie, the way you witness Autumn, it's so beautiful because it's like you really care. I could tell that you both really care a lot about each other, and
Mhm.
see like Autumn, you completely saw Barbie's heart. Like you were like, you're not just
Thank
doing
you.
this, you are touching their emotional world. And Barbie's there like, yeah.
It is. I mean, Barbie,
And
like
when we
she's
had here,
you're in a very like everybody. I think most people are emotional. They show it differently. Barbie's very open in showing it, and I feel like I am
I
too.
wasn't like that.
No, no, you
No.
you you've talked about how you've evolved, and I think it's wonderful that you are so much so, and that your clients know that and want you to be are happy with you showing that and happy with you being a part
I think
of
that's
their
why we
life.
are a good team because we have each other. When we have difficult times
Oh
out
my
there, we
gosh.
call each other and I say,
Oh my
"Why?
gosh.
I need some help.
we're
Listen to
we're
me."
we're on the phone with each other multiple times a day. I talk to her more than my husband sometimes. uh,
Yeah.
just because what we're experiencing things very quickly. We need to make decisions very quickly. So I feel very lucky to have her as a part of my
Yeah,
emotional
yeah.
world.
That is so beautiful. I think that when it comes to this beautiful human experience that we get to have, part of that is that, and this is what something that Alfred Adler said, is that we, as our core human needs, is to feel belonged, to have beautiful, meaningful connection, to feel acknowledged, encouraged, and that's how we co-create together. So you guys are really modeling that so beautifully because you're doing this in togetherness. It's not just one for one. You have true support in it, and he's just making such a big change in other people's lives. I mean, normally we ask, how are you the hero of your own transformations? But you guys are not just the hero of your own transformation, of each other, of other families, of
I
Mm.
agree.
pets. Like you're bringing something so wholesome and so precious. It's very, very precious, and I truly admire that. It's really beautiful to watch and listen to. Nashid, I'm gonna have you take over here because I'm a mouthy over here. I'm gonna make them cry.
Well, thinking about Henry, yeah.
No, absolutely, absolutely right. And the part is about this partnership, right? So you understand the other partner's stories. That's very important. And you know that if you do any business, right? So you need to understand many areas because relationship with your husbands or your wife, it's different. And it's the same like in the business partners, like yeah. And also like when I had my business partner, and eventually it was like I spoke to my wife less than the business partners, right? Because we've been dealing with so many areas and others, and that's really very important. So and the owners who were in the trouble or who were in their good times with the dogs, and they really recall you, and also the hardest time when they let go their animals, right? So they also invite you, so you know the relationship, it's very important, and it's very important, and it's something like it's a real bonding and others, right? So coming back to that, what like makes you guys very different from, like, I was thinking with that, like, you have the moments, right, when you realize that you are holding more than just a dog or the cats, but it's something like emotional words, what you already share, right? So
Mhm.
Mm.
and the ones you are there, right? So currently you are holding dogs, cats, and any other animals, you are like also doing the pets and everything.
Yeah, we've taken care of chickens,
Okay.
and yes,
She
with
got a funny story about the chicken.
Right.
this client with the chickens, I taken care of the chickens many times, and when I showed up one time, they said, "Oh, we have this new rooster." I'm
Ah,
sorry, can you just give me a moment?
yeah.
That was a funny story.
Right.
And then I saw the video when she sent it to me. I don't think she
Yeah.
has it anymore.
So sorry. So this rooster, I had this feeling that this rooster didn't like me, but I wasn't entirely sure. But it kept sort of like running towards me, and I was like, I don't think this rooster likes me. And then it really made itself very clear it did not like me, and started to like peck at me and attack me. And I
Right.
had to, like, I felt like I was a gladiator fighting for my life against this chicken, this rooster, and I was
Okay.
like shouting at it, like, and it just wouldn't stop. I mean, the family were just like, "Ha ha, that's funny. It's the rooster." They got rid of the rooster shortly after because
Yeah.
he
Uh-huh.
was a little too territorial. But it sort of took me showing that, like, maybe this rooster isn't normal. So we've done roosters,
Rabbit,
taking care of rabbits,
guinea pigs,
bearded dragons, guinea pigs,
fish.
potbelly pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't have knowledge of every single animal that's a pet, but we are willing to learn. We
Right.
are willing to, really listen to what's sort of needed, and to, be able to give care that the family that's very similar to what the family does.
Wow, absolutely, absolutely awesome, right? So since we are ending to the podcast, right? So
Yeah.
what will be the message you give the audience, right, for your business, for your the moments, for your the stories, and how this message can be transferred to the everyone's, like, because the stories you were sharing, it's something like it's not only the taking care of the pets, it's emotions, it's a relationship, it's the moments, like, and it's the good times and the bad times when they're passing, and when and you are seeing that you are letting the go, right, and they're inviting you, waiting for you guys to be there, and they pause there, yeah. So there are a lot of connecting the dots. So what will be the message to the audience from the podcast, right? And we want to share it, we want to share your journeys, and we want to share your message, so that, hey,
I
we are not
think.
the only ones, or we are not the average ones, but we
Yeah.
do something different that really count on us.
Think having a pet is very important. Well, we do think, I think, the same thing, because when you get to a point, like we're talking about seniors, when you get to a point where you in that senior stage, like 60s, 70s, 80s, you need something to wake up for, like a goal. Okay, I need to get up and then get better for my cat, for my dog, for my bird. And then I think that's why it's very important to have a pet with you until, like, you can.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, our one of our philosophies is to really try to have you to keep pets with their people as long as possible. And we're really lucky because, a lot of people are independent for much longer in their lives, and we don't want to erase that autonomy that
Mhm.
people have. We want people to be able to go on their vacations, go see their friends, live their lives. Yes, you can stay out and have a little bit of extra time out, have a nice dinner with your friends. We can
Mhm.
help you do that. You can still be a really good pet parent,
Right.
a loving pet parent, and still ask for pet care. All of those things, they're possible. And so we want pet parents to understand that We have absolutely no judgment. We just want to help you keep your family together. So I think for us, that's a really important message we want people to understand about us. Like, please enjoy your lives. Please take care of yourselves in the way that you need to. Please,
And ask for help.
yes,
Ask
but
for
please
help.
ask for help. And we're here to help through these situations, through these difficulties, through the good times and the bad times. We're here to help. And asking for help doesn't make you a bad pet parent. It actually
Yeah,
makes
it
you
doesn't.
a really
Really
good
good.
pet parent,
Right.
because you recognize that your pet need that support and need that consistency.
Right. So just only for 1 minute, we can share. Is there any like situation you have or you had like you're taking care of the pets and others, right? But the owners called you and said like, okay, I bought this dog or the cats, right? But I am not ready. Like I'm trying to adjust, right? Can you guys come up and give suggestions, right? Or maybe you can provide like, okay, what are the steps? Or maybe you can take care in the beginning and
Yeah.
then you can adjust and you put it back. Like, so did you face anything like this?
When you said that, it kind of makes me think about one sort of like service we sort of have started to like
Yeah.
offer for our senior pet owners, is that pet owners who are still very independent, who don't need like support walking their dogs daily because they can do that themselves. But we want to help them find the right sort of
Tools.
care
Yeah,
tools
tools.
that will allow them to continue to be independent. So for your cat
Automatic.
owners,
Yeah.
automatic litter trays, smart litter trays,
Feeders.
automatic feeders. They're wet automatic feeders as opposed, and dry automatic
Mm-hmm.
feeders, helping them find the right types of monitoring tools, the right sorts of ways to keep your pets engaged, your dogs engaged. We really want people to know that, we could easily say, you know
Yeah,
what,
we,
we'll
we
walk your
we can
dog
go.
5 days a week, no
Yeah.
problem. But you might actually still be very capable of keeping your pet entertained, cared for on your own, but you just might need a little bit of support. So we also offer consultations with pet owners, and we've done that with some of our clients, really guided them towards the right types of tools so that they can still manage to take care of the pets.
So you don't have to pay us. Sometimes it come to a point that it's not cheap. It really not. So we don't want to take your money, although we need it because we need to pay our bills. But we're very honest. Like when we talk to them, and then I said, this is what we can do for you. This is the tools that you may be able to buy. So we guide you, and then you only need us once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's just help
Mm-hmm.
sort of maintain those tools and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So we really try to make sure that we give a variety of sort of services that can help all sorts of pet owners in whatever stage of life they're in.
That's beautiful. Thank you guys so much for sharing all of this. I appreciate that we got to have this conversation. I try to, whenever I get guests on this podcast, I try to shake it up a little bit to throw Nashid off. So I see him smiling the whole time. He's like in heaven right now. I know that he's saying in his mind, "Good job, Laziena. You brought the right people to me."
Well, we know you need to go, but before you go, now you told us about Zephy. If we
Picture.
don't exactly, if we don't see a
Where's
picture, we
Steffi?
don't believe you. So you have a picture of Zephy?
I have a pictures with the Zephian, right? So I will share you guys because yeah, we will. What we do is like after this podcast and everything, like we will connect you with the social medias and everything. And the first thing I will do is like I send you the pictures of Zephy and then
Yeah.
connect with you in the Facebook and the LinkedIn
What
and
about
everything.
on
So
your
that
phone? Show us
Yes,
now.
show her. She's
all
saying
right,
show you right
okay,
now.
okay, okay,
Thank you. You got him.
okay. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I say to people like, oh, I have a dog. I said, I don't believe
Where
you.
is it?
I haven't seen a
I need,
picture.
yeah, that's right. Picture or is that real there in a sheet? Come on.
Exactly. Thank you.
Watch him can't find a picture of
Latina,
Zephine.
Exactly.
and I shit, and you're the only one here. So hey,
While Nashid is finding his picture of his dog, of his cat, I want to say to anybody that's listening to this podcast right now, if you hear, you know of somebody who needs pet care or wants some kind of solution or anything that these lovely ladies have shared, make the call now and send them this podcast, because if we wait until tomorrow, then we wait and we wait and you never know what someone's world is going to look like. It might be a pet to you, but for them that's their whole entire world. And the heart and strength that's between Barbie and Autumn is very beautiful and contagious. And if you're especially in the Tampa Bay area, I know exactly who you need to know. So let's make sure, let's make this happen, and flood their houses with dogs and cats, and just
Listen,
Yeah.
we're in the dream world. All right,
there
Nashid.
he is. Did you just Google a pet?
Yeah, no, it's a mix of like Persian and the local breeds, right? And currently, it's like my wife and dogs and the younger ones are in my in-laws' house, right? Because of
Mhm.
the schools and everything. So she's not there with me, because if she's there with me, and you will see that she's just like jumping on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
laptops. And there are many cases. There were many cases. I'm in the meeting and she's like, okay, popping up, and you know that the customers, we were talking, and they said, oh, you have a dog, you have a cat, right? And that made the conversations is like more flexible. And she said like, all right, let's book the another call, or maybe we can do the business, because if you trust the cat, and then maybe we can talk about the business. Yeah,
That's true.
it's
That's
good.
true.
That's
Beautiful.
true.
Well,
Yeah,
Tell people stop it.
true.
What's wrong with you?
yeah.
Yeah, we give a little side eyes, like not even a cat.
A bird?
So exactly. So well done.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and
Thank you for
we will
joining us.
for our listeners, again, this resonates with you, send it to someone, take action, and follow these ladies. We'll put their information. If you guys have social media, we'll put all of that in our show notes, so that way you guys can be reachable, and we will
Yeah.
continue the conversation next time.
Thank you.
All
Nice
right.
video, Nashid. Bye, Laziena.